The Knicks have gotten a lot of heat from the media for not getting Donovan Mitchell. There are a lot of crazy people like Stephen A. that felt the Knicks should have gone all in to get Donovan Mitchell. Stephen A. has given weird reasons when he said, like, yeah, I know they would have had to give up the farm, but I still believe they should have gotten him. He basically said that. I'm paraphrasing, but still, I thought it was pretty stupid. The Knicks have taken this brunt of criticism, and I think it's unjust, to be honest. I feel Donovan Mitchell is not a tier one superstar. Just just not he's not in that league. He's a second tier player. He's very good. I always say second tier players can get you to the playoffs. They're very good, but they can't get you deep into the playoffs. They just don't have that ability unless you have a stacked team around them. It's very rare they go on deep runs. Just an example of a second tier player I can give you in today's NBA is DeMar DeRozan. He's a very good player. And in some years, he can possibly get your team out of the first round, but he has a ceiling of how far he can take you. So I put Donovan Mitchell in that same category. The reason why I bring this up, I felt the Jazz were asking for too much for him. They wanted allegedly 3 first-round picks from the Knicks. They wanted R.J. Barrett. They wanted Quentin Grimes. And there's other rumors where they also wanted Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin. You can't give up that many players and first-round picks for a player like Donovan Mitchell. Now, if this was like prime Tim Duncan, prime Shaq, just prime LeBron, I would get it. I would get to the asking price. And obviously you do it because those players are generational talent, and you can still build a team very quickly around them as long as you have cap space. You can get great free agents, and you're a contender immediately. Donovan, however, is not that type of player. If the Knicks had traded for him, they would have been a very bad team with him. Not much different than what they are right now. But a team that had no future because they would have had to give up their picks. So you're gonna have Donovan Mitchell and a Jalen Brunson backcourt with no defensive help. I don't think that team would have done much, to be honest. They would have been a horrible defensive team when you look at the way that they're set up. Both Donovan and Jalen Brunson are undersized players. They're both 6'1", so you're going to give up a lot on the perimeter. So by giving up a lot on the perimeter, you're going to have to make sure you have defensive anchors in the paint. They wouldn't have had that without Mitchell Robinson. And then you have Julius Randle, who can't play a lick of defense. So they would have had a very, very bad team. I think it's just dumb how the media is just obsessed at going after the Knicks. And I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I just feel it's stupid and childish. Like, the Knicks actually dodged a bullet by not going through with a trade with the Jazz. They would have been screwed over for pretty much this whole entire decade had they done this trade. So they made a great move. I just think it's kind of silly how the media is always obsessed with trash the Knicks. It reminds me of like that one very unpopular kid in school who's like on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the social hierarchy, that everyone trashes this kid no matter what he does. He could be trying to do good things, but he still gets trashed. And I view the Knicks as that kid. They just can't stop being obsessed with them. The Knicks did the smart thing by standing pat. Granted, I know that they wanted Donovan, but they refused to give in to the Jazz's most recent demand, which is that they wanted more than 2 first-round picks. So that saved them from doing a trade that would have been very stupid. I think the Knicks' best strategy going forward is just to slowly build this team, just try to be a playoff contender and consistently go to the playoffs the next few years. That's it. Don't even worry about getting out of the first round. Just make sure you get there the next few years. If they do that consistently and they show they can have a stable core, a base, eventually a legit NBA superstar will want to go down there. I would say the best model for this is just, I look at the Lakers during the early 90s when Magic retired. They were consistently going to the playoffs, but they weren't a contender. But just because they had that track record of getting to the playoffs, it was enough to get Shaq to go there and take that risk to sign there, even though he was leaving a team where he had a good amount of success in the Magic and had a legit superstar playing right next to him in Penny Hardaway at that time. So I think the Knicks can do the same thing, and they just need to stand pat and just consistently just go to the playoffs. Hopefully RJ gets better and he takes his game to the next level. Then that would help a lot. So that's all I have to say about this.